Okay, here is CFVI, CF Acquisition Corp 6, or Rumble. This finishes at $15 today. That is up 14.25%. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Corp, or Truth Social. This finishes at $65.42 today. That is up 28.1%. So this stock has been trending for the past few days. Major price action today. There wasn't any news or anything to justify this price action, so I'm going to assume just a whole bunch of ape stuff going on here. Apes piling in, and even institutions piling in now. A couple days ago, they announced the capital raise for $1 billion. So this isn't just a meme stock anymore. It's like a legit meme stock, because even institutions are buying into this stock now. But yeah, up 28% today, so let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, this looks like a possible cup and handle. Top of the cup could be 67.50, 94, 120, or the high of 175. Doesn't really matter where the top of the cup is because those are all currently bullish indicators, because that means the stock could run back up to one of those tops to complete the cup here. And then there's a gap up at around 950, so that's a bearish indicator. That is telling us this stock may come back down to 950 eventually to fill that gap. Looks kind of unlikely at this point, but we do have to mention that. Very noteworthy. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 67.50 and 60.05. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 67.50, 74.60, 83.30, 94.10, 120.20, and then the high of 175. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 60.05, 55.50, 44.70, 37.64, 16.50, 12.75, and then the low of 9.45. So right now with this current price, 65.42, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide. So expect a significant amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this comes back down to 16.50, the channels start to narrow. So expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this hits 16.50. The RSI is currently at 66, so not quite overbought and overvalued, but quickly approaching that. So be careful, guys. And this did 28 million in volume today. Significant volume, so this pump today was confirmed by the volume. So we're getting some pretty mixed signals here. We have bullish indicators in the possible cup and handle, strong social media sentiment, and we have bearish indicators in the high RSI, high volume, and gap up. So it's a little difficult to tell where this is going to go in the short term. I think longer term, this is pretty legit. I was not convinced at first. At this point, it's not just the apes in here. Again, the institutions are in here as well. Honestly, this is more than just a stock. This is kind of a movement at this point. Kind of like AMC, where the apes are just in here and refusing to sell because of their political ideologies. So this stock is a bit unique. So long term, I definitely think this is pretty legit. But in the short term, again, pretty difficult to tell where this is going to go, but I do think it is bullish as well in the short term. It's going to have to pull back eventually at some point, but I think in the relative short term, this will keep running to the upside. How far, I don't know, but again, we do have this possible cup and handle, so this very well could run as high as 175. But definitely don't be afraid to sell at 75, 94, 120, or 175. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, looks like a pretty decent play. Again, I don't know how far it's going to go to the upside, but I would recommend hitting the sell button eventually, either at 75, 94, 120, or 175. Don't get too greedy, guys. And just understand there is still risk involved here. Unlikely, but this could come back down to 950 to fill this gap here. But this looks like a pretty decent play in the short term. And again, long term, it seems pretty legit to me. So if you're in it for the long term, then, $65 is a pretty good price. If you hold for years, you should be able to make some pretty good money here. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. It definitely could pay off if this does pull back to 950 to fill the gap. But again, at this point, I think that's pretty unlikely, especially because, like I said, this is more than a stock at this point. This is a movement. It's very hard to make money on the short side if the apes refuse to sell. So going short here would be a high risk, high reward play. I mean, if this does pull back to 950, that's a ton of attendees there. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think going short is a really good idea. I don't think it's going to short squeeze necessarily, but you're probably going to bleed money until you're forced to cover here. If you're going to go short, just understand you're gambling. Good chance you're going to lose your money. Could pay off pretty big if you're right. But way too risky for my liking. I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in this stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Corp. Okay, here is CFVI, CF Acquisition Corp 6, or Rumble. This finishes at $15 today. That is up 14.25%. So we've been covering this stock for the past few days. It's been squeezing and still appears to be in the middle of a squeeze here. So we did have some minor news here today. Let's check it out. So the news is that the company appoints Michael Ellis as their general counsel. And it says Ellis has previously worked in senior legal and policy roles in the intelligence community, White House, and Congress. I'm not sure how much that news affected the price action today, but probably a little bit. But, good PR, and probably had something to do with the move today. And in general, this stock does appear to trade in sympathy with DWAC, which we just discussed. Didn't do quite as well as DWAC, but yeah, pretty big move here today, 14%. So let's go ahead and analyze now. So we do have a gap up at 980. So that is a bearish indicator that is telling us this stock should come back down to 980 eventually to fill that gap. So right now this is sitting on the support of $15, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 1550, the all-time high, which it hit yesterday. And if it breaks that, then it's onto the upside, onto uncharted territory, and the market will decide for itself what the stock is worth. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 1455, 1435, 1320, 1310, 1270, 1230, 1190, 1060, 1035, 1010, $10, $990, $980, $975, and then the low of $965. So right now at this current price, $15, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 1010, the channels start to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 1010. RSI is currently at 99, so that is extremely overbought, extremely overvalued, so be very careful, guys. And this did 31 million in volume today, very significant volume, so this pump today was confirmed by the volume. And this is pulling back here in the aftermarket down to 1470, so if this holds up, that would be a bearish indicator. That is telling us tomorrow will probably pull back as well. So it looks like we're still in the middle of a short squeeze here. May not be done just yet, definitely has more upside potential, but this can't keep running forever. And this chart looks extremely bearish right now. It's going to have to come down eventually. And it will come down pretty hard, just as fast as it went up. Someone's going to end up holding the bag. Make sure it's not you. Really, the only bullish thing the stock has going for it right now is the strong social media sentiment. And that'll have to cool off eventually. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Not saying it's not going to keep going up. But at this point, this is just way too risky for my liking. I definitely think you missed the boat. Ship has sailed. And if you were to go long at this point, that would be a straight up gamble, not really an investment. I could support going long as long as you understand you are gambling and there's a good chance you're going to lose your money. Going long here would be a high risk, high reward play. Again, I would not advise doing that, but if you guys want to gamble here, then sure, go for it. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I could support that. Really, really bearish looking chart here. Gap up at 980, high RSI. High volume. This is near the all-time high. A lot of bearish indicators here. It's going to have to come down eventually. Just a matter of when. So going short looks like a pretty good play here to me. This should come back down to 980 to fill the gap. That's about a 35% downside. So a lot of downside potential. A lot of tendencies to be made to the downside. This may not be done squeezing just yet. But as long as you're able to withstand some loss here, this does look like a pretty good short play. And I could support that. Definitely still a good amount of risk involved here. But I do think the risk is worth the reward. Definitely worth a shot. I would say going short here would be a medium risk, medium reward play So yeah, a lot of attendees to be made. So congratulations to everyone who made money on the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up. Not financial advice, but again, chart looks really, really bearish in the short term. So secure the gains. Don't get too greedy, guys. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is CFVI, CF Acquisition Corp 6, or Rumble. Here is XELA Exela Technologies. This finishes at $1.26 today. That is up 10.53%. Here's a meme stock we haven't talked about in a while here. We covered this a lot back when it squeezed in like July. Has since faded very significantly, bled all the way down to $1. And today, this is trending top 10 on StockTwits, so we'll talk about it. So we did have some news, so let's check that out. Okay, so the news is that B. Riley, which is a hedge fund, bought $35 million in stock. And in addition to that, board members and management purchased $1 million of stock. So not sure how much of this pump today was from B. Riley and management purchasing stock, but probably a lot. Great PR, great news. Institutions are coming in here now. And yeah, stock finishes up 10.5% today. Very nice. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So this does appear to be a possible cup and handle in the making. Top of the cup being 215 and the bottom being about 105. I guess this could be a bigger cup and handle as well. Another top could be 270, 335, 380, or 550. It doesn't really matter where the top is. Those are all currently bullish indicators. So right now this is sitting on the support of 125, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 145, 160, 170, 190, $2, 215, 230, 245, 260, 270, 285, $3, 315, 335, 360, 380, 395, 415, 435, 465, 550, 610, and then the high of 780. And if this goes to the downside, next level of support would be 105, which is around the yearly low. It appears that $1, 105-ish is some very strong support. We see a reversal here starting to happen. So it looks like $1 was the bottom here. So right now at this current price, 126, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty decently sized. So expect a good amount of price action either way this goes. RSI is currently at 42, so that's a little bit below average. And this did 96 million in volume today. Very significant volume. So this pump today was confirmed by the volume. So yeah, like I just said, this appears like this did finally bottom out at around $1. Very strong support at $1. And this is starting to reverse now. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, I can support that. 125 is a very, very good entry. This is pretty much the bottom. Very close to the bottom here. In the short term, this may come back up to 215 to complete the cup here. But longer term, this could go back up to 780, the high, and higher. Especially because now the institutions are involved here. Huge upside potential. Really not too much downside potential. Going long here looks like a low risk, high reward play in the short and long term. Looks really, really good to me. I could support this. Definitely looks like a great long play here. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. This really can't go too much lower. This was bleeding for a long time here for months. And again, $1 seems like some very strong support. I highly doubt it's going to break $1, especially with the institutional money coming in here now. So I really don't see a reason to go short here. Going short would be a high risk, low reward play. Really not too much money to be made here on the short side. So really no reason to do that. Yeah, please don't short this, guys. That doesn't make too much sense. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is XELA Exela Technologies. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know. Diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.